Okay, AJ, Aaron Jones, Jaden Reed did not participate. Then limited were Jair, Devondre Campbell, Kenny Clark, Josiah DeGuara, Rudy Ford, Rashawn Gary, Eric Stokes, Dontavian Wicks, and Robert Rochelle.
Was it groin for AJ last week? Is it the same deal now?
Yeah, same deal. We're just trying to get him healthy.
With Jaden, obviously you've had some really good offenses without like a slot receiver. But what has he added to your offense? He's really been a productive guy from the get-go.
Yeah, he's just a heck of a competitor, and he's helped us not only in the pass game, obviously, but just getting the ball in his hands, whether it's on reverses or rounds, whatever it may be, screens. And I love how he competes, both in the run game and in the pass game. So he's made plays when given opportunities.
Hey, man, is it safe to say that you'd probably rather have had at least one veteran receiver in that room to mentor guys? And what have you done to compensate for not having that?
Well, I will say I think the veteran guys in the room, in terms of Rome and Christian and Samari and Bo Melton, the guys that have been here, have done a really nice job of setting a standard in terms of how we go out and practice on a daily basis. I think Jason Vrabel's done a great job of holding those guys to that standard, and then them holding each other to the standard. So it is what it is. Every year is a little bit different in terms of just the dynamics of that room and of each individual room. But I think all in all, our guys are starting to make some progress in terms of just the production on the field, obviously, but we see it in practice, understanding what we're trying to do, the details of why we're trying to do what we're doing and how to get that done. And I think that's led to better play.
From your experience, how difficult is it for a young quarterback to kind of have the patience to kind of use the checkdowns, not be so willing to throw downfield? Where do you think Jordan is in that process right now?
Yeah, I think he's done a much better job of that, because everybody wants to throw it down the field, but sometimes you gotta be calculated. It's got to be there. It's got to be the right read, and I think what I've been so impressed with him, especially just talking about our last game, was when we've been on him in terms of, obviously you go through your progression within the timing of the play, but there were a couple instances where the pass rush hit home quicker than what you'd like it to, and he got to his check down on maybe his first hitch. And I thought that was big time progress in terms of just avoiding a negative play and allowing our offense to stay in front of the sticks, because you got a much better chance of moving the chains, whether it's third and manageable or avoiding third down at all. So I thought just that feel for him to be able to do that was progress.
Matt, with regard to pass rush, you guys have obviously faced a gauntlet of guys, Watt and Hutchinson, all them. What differentiates Chris Jones among these elite pass rushers in this league?
Wow, he's so massive, and he's the total package. He's a big guy that can really move. They do a good job of moving him around, and then you combine that with some really good players around him and the scheme in terms of a very aggressive style, a lot of pressures, a lot of different pressures, and it's a deadly combo. So I've got a lot of respect for what they've been able to accomplish there, and this is a really good defense.
What was the difference in your pass rush, did you think, against Detroit, against a very good offensive line? Did you think it kind of worked inside out or outside in, or was there anything specifically different?
There were certainly some of the games that we ran, I thought our guys were doing a really good job of picking for one another. But, then there were instances where when the guys got their one-on-ones, whether it was Kenny Clark, Preston, RG, all those guys were winning one-on-one opportunities. And I think anytime you can do that, it definitely, you're going to have a much better day. And that's exactly what happened. And it was really, I would say the collective effort of everybody that was in the game, whether it was Devontae Wyatt or, KB or whoever it was.
Your secondary's really has performed well. What's been the challenge for Greg or Ryan to coach those guys up thus far? And then, of course, the big test you got coming Sunday night.
Yeah, I think both those guys, and then Justin Hood in that mix, I think, they all work together really well. I think they're excellent communicators, excellent teachers, and, the guys have taken the coaching, and then ultimately they go out there and perform. And to see so many guys, specifically young guys, get in there, and they're competitive, man. And I feel like we've been a little bit more aggressive, which has certainly helped us. Not to say that you're not going to get beat, but you have to have a short memory as a defensive back, because it's that next play mentality, whether it was a good play or bad play, and that's just part of playing that position. But I think the guys have just done a really good job of taking the coaching and then going out there and executing. And talk about, the Chiefs offense. This is a very explosive unit, one of the best in the league. There's not many quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes out there, and you combine him with guys like Travis Kelce. That's one of the best combinations in all of the National Football League. And I think you're seeing some of their wideouts, like Racey Rice is starting to come along now, and obviously MVS is there. And so, it's a very dangerous unit, and it's going to be a great test for not only our secondary, but our entire defense.
Regarding their defense, you mentioned Jones, but what was it that sticks out about their defense looking on tape? Obviously, they're ranked really high there.
I want to say they have 37 sacks on the season or whatever it is. They do a really good job of challenging you, specifically, I would say, in the back end. They're very, very aggressive, especially when they play their man coverage. They're going to try to choke you out at the line of scrimmage. And then all the different combinations that they bring, whether it's, corner blitzes, nickel pressure, safety pressure. They'll blitz the linebackers. They'll have different front structures. They do a good job of playing multiple personnel groupings to whatever you put out there. And I've been going against Spags for years now, and I think he's one of the best in the business.
Hey, Matt, back in your playing days, did you throw from a lot of different arm angles?
No, I was not that talented. So why do you ask that?
Because from a coaching perspective, I was talking to Sean about this, that you encourage that if that's something that's required, that you're not a huge stickler for just, okay, you have to throw a ball one way. Is that a fair description of your coaching philosophy?
Well, yeah, I think you got to do what you got to do to, make the throw. And I think it's in today's world, in today's NFL, you're going to have to be able to change your arm angle and to get the ball around certain individuals, rushers, whoever it may be, and you got to be able to kind of manipulate that throw, however you can do it.
So have you seen that change in the time you've been coaching in the league, and how does Jordan kind of fit into that idea?
I don't know if I've seen it change necessarily. I just think you see a lot more of these guys probably trying different things. Like I can't remember seeing as many quarterbacks nowadays like doing no-look throws, and not that I'm a big proponent of that. If you can do it, great. That's awesome. But, I think that there's so much more exposure and seeing film of guys doing stuff like that. And certainly these guys want to probably try to one-up each other. And I think it's kind of evolved in terms of just changing arm angles, throwing off platform, throwing the no-looks, whatever it may be. And I think Jordan's done a really good job. I mean, he threw a ball today that was incredible in terms of just changing arm angles and whatnot. And so I think the more you do it, the better you get at it.
Did you see him do that a lot on his college tape, or do you think maybe he was influenced slightly by his former teammate and mentor?
Yeah, I think absolutely. I think, you'd be crazy not to learn from one of the best to ever play the game. And, you're around it on a daily basis, and you see guys try different things, and that gives you maybe encourages you to want to try to emulate that as well.
One more, please. What are the keys to a team playing well in December? Is it any different than any other month? You've had success in December.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just staying consistent, staying true to your process, and, you know, really pushing to get better. You know, I think these guys, like, this is a long season, and trying to stay mentally fresh as best you can is an important part of that. But I think the consistency, showing up on a daily basis, ready to work, ready to put in the work, and wanting to improve, I think is really the key to that.